Okay, welcome back. Last time I made my way into and through the Challenger's Cave, I introduced 3 new Pokemon onto the team and 2 of them died. I'll be honest, it wasn't my greatest episode. And today we're going to go and catch our legendaries. So the first thing I'm going to be doing in today's episode is actually flying back to Mistralton City. This way I can go and teach Sparky Thunder Wave, and honestly just having access to Thunder Wave is going to be very, very practical. Mostly just because it's practical paralysis that I can have actual access to. Hadn't really planned on the alliteration there, but hey, here we are. And before I actually go and catch my legendaries, I also want to make a quick trip back to Undella Town. Basically, I want to go and investigate the Undella Bay, because I haven't had my encounter there, and I also need to go and do the stuff at the Abyssal Ruins. Now, I also just kind of want to mention this immediately. I have genned in a Tornadus and a Thunderous. I won't be able to use them. They're level 1, they don't have an ability. Just a second. There they are. They're level 1, they don't have an ability, they are solely there so I can get Landorus to appear. However, this is just so I can get Landorus to appear. I will start that battle and I will immediately just run away from it, because obviously it isn't fair if I gen in those 2 Pokemon to get Landorus to appear, and then just go, oh, yeah, I can use that. No, I think that would be just comically unfair, so I'm not going to do it that way. Now then, what can we encounter in the Undella Bay? Okay, so, open for something good. We can also dive down here, which we will be doing momentarily. Our encounter is... Okay, okay, I can definitely use a Turtwig. Turtwig is really good. Turtwig is really good because, honestly, Torterra is consistently just helpful to have. You know, grass, ground type. It isn't exactly fast, but, you know, it hits hard and it can take hits. And the Turtwig just stayed in the ball immediately. Honestly, that is perhaps the best thing I could have hoped for. However, I also need to mention, I do have a token encounter, I just haven't decided where to use it yet. Because I did get 2 claw fossils in the last episode, and they were both Victory Bell, because, you know, it's the same fossil. Now then, this should be the Abyssal Ruins, right? I think this is a cool little thing, how kind of just like spiral downwards. That just by itself is really cool. As we now enter the Abyssal Ruins. Click. The sound reverberates. So you have all of this writing. I don't know what this actually translates to. I'm pretty sure in the base game, so when nothing is randomized, you find... Can I pick this up? A dull sound came from far away. I think in the base game, I think this is where you find all of the elemental plates for Arceus. I'm not 100% certain, but I think that's where... I'm pretty sure that's what their deal is here. Okay, so I found a Revival Herb. I've found a Health Wing. So far, this isn't looking great. I find a Duranberry. However it's pronounced, and... What's up here? A soft sand. The Abyssal Ruins are not looking great for me so far. But I do think that... I think they are a very interesting locale. Okay, we find a Lancet Berry. I think they're a very Oh. A dull sound echoed. I think the Abyssal Ruins are really interesting because they never, as far as I'm aware, they never really get an explanation. And there's nothing there's nothing in Black and White 2 about them, I think. I might be wrong on that. I haven't played Black and White 2 for a while. I've backtracked to the entrance. Well, that was a misplay on my part, but we're gonna get kicked out soon anyway. The dull sound is close. So, I guess that was me doing a little bit of a spoiler there. Yeah, oh, it's a torrent of water. Basically, you just get flooded out of the place. Like, you basically just get booted out. But now, if I surf back down, if I dive back down, I might be wrong. I don't think I can go back in. I might be wrong. It's been a very long time since I did this, but I feel like you can't go back in. Well, what do I know? You know what? I did see one more item in there, so I'm gonna go for it. Okay, sound reverberates. Hopefully I can find my way through here. I'm sure that there's probably, like, an actual map in terms of, like, how to properly navigate through here. Maybe that's what all the stuff that's written is trying to say. Like, hey, go this way, go that way. But if you go left from here, down from here, you can find all these. But, I don't know. And hopefully I can just navigate through here. I've never actually successfully... I don't think I've ever successfully fully navigated the Abyssal Ruins. It is a really cool place, though. Like, I would put it right next to the Ruins of Alph in terms of just kind of places in the Pokemon world that are really cool but never, like, properly explained or fleshed out properly. Because I would love to see the Ruins of Alph get more stuff. And I would really like to see the Abyssal Ruins get more stuff. Okay, a PP Max could actually be super helpful here. Okay, I'm going to try to get to this, whatever this is. Because this appears to be kind of the center point, I imagine. We find some lemonade. Great. Yeah, I don't know what any of those signs say. But either way, we're going to get kicked back out of this place in about 20 seconds, probably. And let's see what we can get. Okay, Choice Scarf on our way out. That could be worse. I mean, I already have one, but still. And I believe... yeah, it's a torrent of water, and you just get flooded back out of the place. Okay, so now then. Okay, what else could I have had in here? Okay, I could have had a different Turtwig. Honestly, so at some point in the future, I am going to be replaying Platinum again on here, and I don't actually know what Pokemon I want to use. Like, I don't know which starter I really want to go for, because honestly, I really like all of the Sinnoh starters. My favorite one is Chimchar. Like, my favorite Sinnoh starter is Chimchar, but that's because my favorite starter, period, is Chimchar. But honestly, the Piplup line after this playthrough, I'm starting to think a bit more favorably on it. Also, now that I've done the stuff at the Abyssal Ruins, it is time to start our quest. Our big dramatic endgame quest to hopefully catch all of our legendary Pokemon. You know what, I will buy 5 more Dusk Balls just because I can. And I think did I move all of the Strength Rocks here earlier? I think I did, but I'm gonna bring something with Strength just to be sure. Okay, what does this Turtwig even have? Dry Skin. Okay, so that could have something, I guess. And yeah, sure, I will bring Machoke. Machoke will be fine. Now then, also, I'm glad that I bought Dusk Balls there, because unfortunately for me, I have learned a very, very inconvenient little thing. Okay, I say an inconvenient little thing, it's just an inconvenience. It's very much an annoyance, in fact. I have nowhere in this game. Not a single shop in this entire game, because of, basically the randomizer deemed it so that nowhere in this game can I buy Quick Balls or Timer Balls. Kind of the two main ones that you would want to catch a legendary. And that's going to be an annoyance for me. But hey, hopefully it'll be okay. Now then. So, which Pokemon do I actually have to go and get? I have a Guidance Chamber encounter. So I have my Guidance Chamber encounter and Cobalion. Then I have a Trial Chamber encounter and Terrakion. I have Virizion. So I have 5 encounters. Then I have Giant Chasm. I have Relic Castle, like the proper basement. Basement where you find Volcarona. And I think that's all of them. Like, oh wait, and Abundant Shrine. But Abundant Shrine is basically going to be, I run up to the place. Abundant Shrine is going to be, I run up to the place, find Valandris, talk to Valandris, see what Valandris is, leave. Also, 10 out of 10. Flash Bug, very much working in my favor here, because it means I don't need to have Flash, so, also 10 out of 10, very good that I did bring a Pokemon with Strength, because apparently I hadn't moved these boulders. Which, if anything, is a sign that I did not do a very good job earlier in the game. Because I came through here earlier in the game to kind of set myself up so I wouldn't have to do this later. Although for some reason, the Flash Bug wasn't happening back then. And so you know what? Ultimately, I guess it worked out just fine. And I did find that shiny Dodrio that's been just kind of sat in the PC ever since. So you know what? Ultimately, I'll call it worthwhile. Now then, this guy is going to give us a bit of a lore dump in just a second. And we have an item here. We find a yellow shard that is going to do absolutely nothing for me. And we find an Iapapa berry. That is a berry of some description. And let's go and listen to what this old man has to say. I saw your skill. It's impressive for one so young. Maybe you're the one. It may be possible. How about it? Will you listen to an old man's story? Yes. In the distant past, when Pokemon and people lived in different worlds, a war between people started an intense fire in a forest where many Pokemon lived. The Pokemon were surrounded by smoke and flames. They were in big trouble. And then the legends, Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion appeared. Terrakion used its amazing strength to destroy rocks, blocking the escape route. Virizion used its quick movements to protect Pokemon from looming flames, and Cobalion led the frightened Pokemon out of the burning woods. The people who started the war were routed by the power of the legends. Because of Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion, the war was ended. When people fight, there's no peace for Pokemon either. The three legends learned that the deeds of humans could lead to dire consequences for their world. They cut themselves off from people and disappeared. No one saw much of them after that, and the three faded into myth. I've been searching for them for decades, and I finally figured out that one of them was deep in this cave. But the legendary three do not trust people. If people approach, they bare their fangs and attack. It can't be helped, because they only know the old world. They still don't know that the world has become a place where people and Pokemon try to understand and help each other. You seem like you might be able to show them that people and Pokemon can trust each other and live together. If they take another look at people, I think they will stop hiding from us. Also, 10 out of 10. They really did introduce Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion as being in a forest fire, when two of them are weak to fire. And my encounter of the guidance chamber is a Tranquil. Okay. I mean, if nothing else, it's definitely catchable. Which realistically does a lot more than it needs to. Because I will greatly appreciate anything that I can catch right now. Because I have plenty of good Pokemon, and since I'm going to be catching a whole bunch of, well, attempting to catch a whole bunch of legendaries, just having access to some good ones is going to be very helpful to me. Okay, so that's just a normal encounter, not a stag. Okay, I could have had a Meloetta in here. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that it wasn't the Meloetta, because then I'd be trying to catch another legendary. Realistically, right now, I don't want to encounter a legendary as a basic encounter. However, I don't think Volcarona... When I find the Volcarona, that won't be a legendary. Like, that won't be a legendary because Volcarona isn't a legendary. It'll have been turned into something that's probably quite strong, but it shouldn't be a legendary, I think. But hey, that is something I will find out when I get there. And I just realized I don't think I set myself up yet. I don't think I set myself... Did I do it? Okay, yeah, I did get the Liberty Pass. Okay, so I can hopefully go and get Victini as well. Oh, because Victini is another event Pokemon. It's an event Pokemon, and am I lead? No, I'm not leading with Sparky, so I want to lead with Sparky. Sorry, I'm kind of just all over the place right now. So, Cobalion is... That is a Cresselia if I have ever heard one. If nothing else, I am pretty good at memorizing Pokemon cries, at least for the first few gens. But if you ask me for a Pokemon's cry after after Gen 5, like Gen 6 onwards, as where they kind of just became a lot more generic, then I would kind of struggle. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know if this thing will have... You know, I'm just gonna go out to whatchamacallem, Empoleon. I'm gonna go out to Empoleon and Aqua Jet, because I think Aqua Jet won't kill. Even though I have a 31 level gap, I feel pretty confident saying that it won't kill. Or at least I hope it won't. Okay. Good. So it did about maybe a quarter, little over. And that should drop it into the yellow. Fantastic. Now this is in prime catching range, you know? Like, it's in the kind of mid to low yellow. It's paralyzed. However, it does still have a catch rate of like 3, so this thing is going to be a pain to catch. Honestly, Cresselia is... I don't know, Cresselia is kind of an interesting Pokemon to me, but it's also never been one I've been massively fond of. Also, you may recall earlier in the playthrough, I did encounter one as a normal encounter, and it did die. So, it died because I Wait, was that one I think that was one I unintentionally knocked out. Yeah, I think I unintentionally knocked out that Cresselia, and the Landorus knocked itself out with struggle because it took so long. But hey, hopefully we can catch this Cresselia without any hassle. If nothing else, I know it isn't going to be much of a damage threat to me, because I don't think this thing has any real attacking moves. Cresselia is definitely more of a defensive type Pokemon. It's more defensive and supportive than offensively oriented. However, I don't really have a whole lot else I can do right now. Like, the best I can do right now is just throw Pokeballs at it. In a perfect world, I would love to just hear the kind of a... whatchamacallit, like the crit capture. I would love to see that just come through so I can catch this immediately. But otherwise, I think we're going to be here for a little... No! I do have a Master Ball. However, I think I know what I'm going to be saving that for. Basically, my current line of thinking is I will be saving that Master Ball for Kyurem. Because Kyurem is the only one that I'm going to be finding at level 75. And obviously, it being super high level, it makes it a lot more of a potential threat. So that way, I can potentially just catch it immediately without having to worry about anything. Okay, Future Sight isn't going to do all that much. Because Future Sight, 10 out of 10, actually just checks typing. If I went out to Hydreigon, it just wouldn't be affected by it at all. 1. Okay, Cresselia, please just work with me here. So, weirdly enough, my main memory of Cresselia as a Pokemon isn't actually a thing that is... my main memory of Cresselia as a Pokemon isn't Cresselia itself. It's actually in Pokemon X and Y. I distinctly remember because I finished Pokemon Y for the first time, and this was in late 2013, so very, very soon after the game came out. And pretty much the Pokemon Bank was a good couple of months out, I think. So it wasn't available yet. And when you beat the game in Pokemon Y, Tiano turns up in... I think it's Cormorine City? Whatever the one with the 4th gym is. I know which one it is, I just don't know how to pronounce it. And he basically asks you every day, hey, can you show me a Pokemon that knows this specific dance move? And it's basically like, okay, can you show me a Pokemon with Dragon Dance, with T-Air Dance, and with Swords Dance, and so on and so forth, with Quiver Dance. And I distinctly remember this, because I talked to him the first time I saw him after that, and he was like, yeah, can you show me a Pokemon that knows Lunar Dance? And the answer was obviously no. Cresselia was not in X and Y. Like, you could not get that Pokemon yet, because you couldn't transfer Pokemon in from Black and White yet. It wasn't catchable in Kalos, and it would eventually become catchable in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. But obviously, I couldn't catch that, and because Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was still at that point probably like, I don't know, 10, 11 months away, probably. 1, 2, 3, click! No. Cresselia, please just work with me here. I'm out of things to talk about this Pokemon. Because, obviously, Cresselia being a much more defensive Pokemon, I haven't really used it much. Like, it's a Pokemon that I never really used, because I typically err more on the playing offensive side of things. I have no real issues with playing defensively, but I'd rather play offense. It's just more fun to me. Like, I'd rather play Rushdown than zoning in a fighting game, you know? Okay, if I don't catch this within the next 3 Pokeballs, I'm just gonna speed up until I catch this thing. Because this thing is it's just not working with me. And apparently it has very little interest in working with me, apparently. I mean, on the plus side, I'm taking next to no damage. I could probably switch in. I could probably switch the Machoke and land 1 or 2 fighting moves. Yeah, I'll try that. Because otherwise, I don't think I'm in too much danger, realistically. Because it's shown me its entire moveset. It has Aurora Beam, Future Sight, Mist, and Safeguard. So I know I don't need to worry about that much. But hopefully we should be okay. I'll just go for Wake Up Slap. It's by far the weakest move. With Dynamic Punch if it lands. Dynamic Punch if it lands has guaranteed confusion, and Cross Chop has a high crit chance. So I don't really want to mess with that if I can avoid it. However, after a certain point, I feel like I might need to start considering just cutting my losses. Because evidently this Cresselia does not really want to come with me, apparently. But hey, I'll give it this Pokeball, and if it doesn't stay in right now, I'll speed up until I eventually catch it. 2, 3, click. Well, that worked. You know, sometimes things just work. And also, it is time to get some more lore. Well, not really, but the old guy's gonna come back and talk at us a bit more. It seems that thanks to you, Cobalion has sensed a change in the world. It's a world where people and Pokemon help each other and live together. I believe Cobalion wants to remain with you and travel by your side. The fact that you battled Cobalion and you related to each other should be easily communicated to Terrakion and Virizion, because of the close bond between the three. I'm sure that they will also give you a chance to prove your worth. The obstacles that separated Terrakion and Virizion from people are probably gone now. Whether you want to search for those two is up to you, but they are definitely waiting for you. So, now I get to talk about Cobalion just for a minute. So, Cobalion was a Pokemon that I never really gave all that much thought initially. Like, I will be the first person to admit, I never gave Cobalion all that much thought. And then the last time I played this game, I ended up using Cobalion, and it was so helpful. Genuinely, I started just looking at Cobalion as a completely different Pokemon, because it went from a Pokemon that I never cared about to, oh wow, this thing has saved my Nuzlocke. Like, I typically don't really use legendaries in my locks all that much, Achiever, but hey, it just worked. It was amazingly helpful. I'm pretty sure, like, Sword... What did I have on it? I had Sword Stance for sure. I had Sword Stance, Sacred Sword, Iron Head, and some other fourth move that I can't remember off the top of my head. And it just annihilated things. Like, even going into the final fights, it kind of just set up and swept. It was bulky enough to just take hits while it's set up and then just one-shot things. Genuinely amazing Pokemon to have on the team. Actually, do I need to... Bolt Absorb Tranquil. Now I've seen it all. You know what? For now, I'll just keep the Machoke with me, I guess. I'll keep the Machoke with me for now, and hopefully I won't really need it, but hey, you know what, if I need a safe switch in, like if something goes wrong and I need a switch in, I can just rely on that, I guess. Because honestly, as much as I think Machamp is kinda cool, I don't really see myself using it on the team here. Okay, let's quickly throw on a Repel, because I need to get on through here. Because otherwise we could be... Honestly, this episode is going to be very long as is. And this could end up taking an eternity. Okay, so over here we have TM90 Oil. I don't actually remember what TM90 normally is. So I think I've actually mentioned this a couple of times before. I know my TMs for Gen 3 perfectly. Like, if you asked me, like, any TM in Gen 3, I could tell you. Gen 4 onwards, that's where I start to kind of lose my knowledge on it. I remember a lot of the key ones. Like, I remember that 15 is Hyper Beam, 13 is Ice Beam, 24 is Thunderbolt, 24 is Thunderbolt, 25 is Thunder, 26 is Earthquake, 27 is Return, and 28 is Dig, 29 is Psychic, 30 is Shadow Ball, 31 is Brick Break, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I've just never really given it all that much thought for the later ones. I remember some of the specific ones, but it's the later ones I don't remember. Okay, so, Rumination Field. Do I have... I do have Sparky out front. So, our Virizion is... horrifying, because that is a Giratina. Well, that is... I mean... So, I've no doubt told this story pretty much every time I've ever seen a Giratina about the first time I encountered it in Turnback Cave, and how that was kind of scary when I first played the game. Okay, Aura Sphere, that is honestly kind of surprising that it has at this low level, but okay. I will just switch out to Camazotz, because I think Camazotz can probably take whatever's going to get thrown at it. And for real quick, can I... It'll resist cross poison, so I think I can cross poison this. I know I can't poison it, if nothing else. But yeah, I imagine... Like, imagine just... You're walking through a forest at night, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, that's just a Giratina. Like, and then you just, like see the horrifying shadow of a Giratina through the trees in a clearing. Like, that'd be so scary. On the plus side, Giratina is a really cool Pokemon. It has a fantastic typing. I love its typing. Now the question is, can I catch it? It's in the red. It's paralyzed. So this should be comfortable to catch, right? But it's in the red. It's paralyzed. I'm fairly sure it's a little bit easier to catch. I say that, but if I'm being totally honest, I'm terrible when it comes to knowing catch rates of things. I mean, it shook once, so better than I expected. Okay, it has Aura Sphere. It's so weird to me seeing it have Aura Sphere at like level 42, because I'm fairly sure that in Gen 4, I know that Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina all get Aura Sphere, but I'm pretty sure that in Gen 4 they get it at like level 90. But I'm pretty sure it's their final move. Okay, so it's shown Shadow Claw, or just there. It's shown Aura Sphere. We catch the Giratina, let's go. honestly, this thing's moveset, just from the little bit that I paid attention to, is already looking really good. Genuinely, Giratina, huge potential pickup. Right now, like, no promises, but right now, if I had to add one of the legendaries I have to the team, it would be that Giratina. Because that is potentially insane. But okay, let's go and find out what our, whatchamacallit, Terrakion is. After that, we should be on our way. Honestly, hopefully whatever our next legendary is cooperates as fast as that Giratina did. Because Giratina just went, yeah, sure, buddy. Gotten the ball after a few turns. No problems. No problems, no questions asked. It just got in the ball and worked with me. Okay, so, once again, I'm just going to quickly double check. Still leading with Sparky, fantastic. Now then, off we go into, back into Victory Road. Personally, I think it's interesting that Victory Road turns up. I think it's interesting that Terrakion is in Victory Road, but the legendary Pokemon are mentioned in Challenger's Cave, but you never see them in Challenger's Cave. They aren't there. Like, I think that would have been a more interesting thing. Or maybe they could have had a thing where if you brought Empoleon, Terrakion, and Virizion there, then maybe you could have found Keldeo or something. But Keldeo is more tied to the Muravicerus, but whatever. Okay. I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of really cool Pokemon in this Victory Road. I mean, I learned that while I was doing all my training, but still. Okay, so off we go into the Trial Chamber. And since this is technically a new area, we have a new encounter here, as well as our Terrakion. So our encounter for the Trial Chamber is good but catchable. A Nidoqueen. I mean, I'd say that falls under the category of pretty good and also very catchable. But I wouldn't say Nidoqueen is particularly dangerous to me, I don't think. I don't think it's particularly dangerous to me, but also it should be relatively catchable. Although at the same time, it might not be, because Nidoqueen, just like Nidoking, and now that I think about it, pretty much all stone evolutions, they just don't really appear in the wild. Now that I think about it, I don't think they appear in the wild naturally at all until like Gen 8. Yeah, I think they don't appear in the wild naturally until Gen 8. Because they don't have whatchamacallits. Because since they evolve with a evolutionary stone, they don't really learn moves by level up anymore. Also, basically catching one in the wild would feel completely pointless. It's like, cool, maybe it learns one or two moves, and that would be it. And those moves would often be very few and far between. Because usually evolving something with an evolutionary stone is the commitment to it. But it's like, no. Aside from TMs, you are now set, you are comfortable with its moveset. And I think that's an interesting little thing. I'm going to try Cross Poison here. I know I can't poison it. I think it'll be, and I know it'll be resisted, so I feel like I should be able to get away with using a Cross Poison here. But yeah, like, you never saw, yeah, like, in the early days, you would never see a Starmie in the wild. You'd never see a Poliwrath in the wild. Or an Arcanine. You'd never see a Pokemon like Lefable, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Poliwrath, like any of the evolutionary stone ones. I think the first proper exception to that was Alolan Executor, but Alolan Executor is its own kind of unique thing, and also it is I imagine it is a pretty marketable Pokemon. I don't know how much merch that Pokemon got, but I imagine it was probably quite a merchandisable one, because it's just a really goofy, tall palm tree thing, and that is kind of funny. But obviously with the, in Gen 8 onwards, I think they did start appearing naturally. Okay, so my Terrakion is... That's a Groudon. That's a Groudon. That's Groudon. Okay, so... time to play a quick little round of good thing, bad thing. Good thing, it's a Groudon. Bad thing, I can't paralyze that. Straight up, I can't paralyze that. I can't paralyze that because it's ground type, and I don't really want to stay in because this thing probably has Earthquake. Okay, Hammer Arm does very little to Camazotz, that's fine. I don't feel confident. I don't feel confident about using Cross Poison, because if I poison it, it's on a timer, and if it's on a timer, that means it might die. And I want to catch this Groudon. Okay, it has shown Earthquake, so getting Sparky out of there was definitely the play. So hopefully I can catch this Groudon. Groudon is one of my favorite legendary Pokemon. And honestly, if it okay, you know what? I feel more willing to attack it now that it's just shown Rest. Okay, I do get the poison. Okay, Lava Plume, no burn, no burn, no burn, no burn. And now I do get to kind of whittle it down just a little bit over the next few turns with poison, unless it puts itself to sleep with Rest. But yeah, Groudon, one of my absolute favorite legendary Pokemon. I'm a huge fan of it, always have been. And I have a weird recollection. I don't know if I've just made this up because it's been so long since I last played the game. But I'm pretty sure that relatively early on in one of the Mystery Dungeon games, I think it's Explorers of Time and Darkness, the second one, like, I'm relatively certain that you just fight a Groudon. I don't think it's like the Groudon, but it's always been a little bit weird to me that that's just in there so early. 3, click! Groudon just stayed in the bowl. Groudon really wanting to come with, I suppose. Okay, so now I got to face a fun little question upon myself, I suppose. Because now, if I do decide to use one of these legendaries, I now have to decide between that Groudon and that Giratina. And I said that Groudon, and then had to pause because I knew that I was going to say, "Oh, that Rayquaza," and unless I've magicked myself a Rayquaza and don't know, I feel pretty confident in saying I don't have one of those. I mean, hey, if the game wants to throw me a bone and give me a Rayquaza, I won't have any complaints. But okay, let's quickly fly back on over to Black City. I am going to go past one of the 7 sages on my way here. But at the same time, I'll leave him for now, because I'll come back and get all... Basically, I'm going to go and get all of my legendaries, and then I'll start going back around and getting all of the 7 sages individually. Why? Why am I doing it this way? Because it's way more impractical? Good question. I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. So let's quickly go and drop off Machoke and pick up Mantine. Okay, so let's quickly drop off Machoke and pick up Mantine. I am so happy that I have a Groudon. I don't know, that's just... Even if I don't end up using it, there's just part of me that sees a Groudon in my PC box and just kind of happy about it. Also, because I know that there's trainers out here that I might end up running into, yeah, I'm just going to lead with Camazotz, because, as it turns out, yeah, this Crobat with access to a ton of moves that it wouldn't normally have, is pretty reliable. Although there is also a kind of certain level of irony to the fact that I say that it has access to a whole bunch of moves it wouldn't normally have, and I give it 3 moves that it would normally have anyway. Like, the only move it wouldn't normally have is Earthquake, and I don't actually know what I would normally have as its last move to kind of fit in its place. Like, I would obviously be keeping Cross Poison, I'd keep Cross Poison, I'd keep Acrobatics, and I'd keep U-Turn. But Earthquake, I don't know, maybe Confuse Ray for general convenience. I'd definitely give Mean Look for that one time where I'd go and try to find a roaming legendary. I could try that, actually. Okay, TM47, Dragon Breath. So anything that I would normally teach... Anything I could normally teach Steel Wing, I can teach Dragon Breath. That's kind of cool. It is the great Landorus that protects this land. With its help, we are assured of rich soil and a prosperous harvest. You should visit Great Landorus's little shrine and pay your respects. But, thank you, game. Thank you for reminding me. I have actually inconvenienced myself. I need to go back. I need to go back because, as it turns out, you can't get Landorus to appear if you don't have Tornadus and Thundurus in your party. And as it turns out, I just completely momentarily forgot about that, so let's quickly go and grab those two. So, now the question is, who do I switch out? I think I know what I'm gonna do here. I'll bring these two, and I'll leave Mantine and Pidgeotto. I guess I'll just temporarily teach Penta how to use Waterfall. Oh, and then I can just go back and get everyone else as and when need be. So, away we go. So I will get rid of Swords Dance, hopefully I won't need it. And away we go. Back to the, the Abundant Shrine. Abundant Shrine, honestly, I know that it's the place where Landorus turns up. To be totally honest, my main memory of it in Pokemon Black is, oh, this is the place where the Flamethrower TM is. Because, you know, I'm very fond of the move Flamethrower. TM35 is one of my favorites. Okay, so, actually, you know what, that could be a fun little thing to do. Maybe I could just do that as a little one-off or a little quick video on Branch Talks About or something. Where I kind of just test myself, like, hey, how well do I know the TMs in Gen 3? Because for Gen 3, I'm confident I get 100%. Gen 4, I think I can probably get like 75%. And Gen 5, I'm a little bit less confident in. Okay, hopefully I don't have to hopefully this guy is not too dangerous. Buddy, what Pokemon do you have? You have a Scizor. I mean, that's less of a threat and more just a general annoyance, because I don't have anything with a fire move. But I can just Earthquake. And you know what? Historically, Earthquake kinda just works. That did so little damage. Oh. Oh, that was a lot. And that also hit neutral. That's strange. Why did Iron Head hit for neutral damage? What does this thing have? Because that should not have done neutral damage. Like, that should not have been neutral damage. I resist that. I'm a poison type. Like, I'm poison type. I resist steel. I'm pretty sure I do, at least. I'm relatively certain, in fact. Anyway, you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm just going to hope that we don't die. And also, I'm momentarily... I shouldn't allow myself to get distracted. Did I just get hit with Inferno? I shouldn't allow myself to get distracted, but after like 2 years it's been like 2 years since I got my new PC, and the little plasticky thing they had like on the front of it is finally falling off, and it's like, could it do that at a later time? I'm kind of in the middle of recording right now, and it's gonna distract me. But you know what? It'll be fine. Okay, Unpheasant comes out. I switch back to Sparky. I have a horrible feeling about this, so... forget it. I'll just full send. I'll just Thunderbolt him. 10 out of 10. Good job, Sparky. 10 out of 10. Sparky did not hit himself in confusion. Sorry, did not hit herself in confusion. And we take out the Unpheasant. Honestly, I feel like I've seen a weird number of Unpheasants recently. Like, did I reach postgame and everyone in Unova went, yeah, Unpheasant? I don't know, I feel like Unpheasant has just had a random spike in the popularity in this region in my game. Okay, so let's quickly patch up my Pokemon, because we took not that much of a beating, but we still took a little bit more damage than I would have liked. Okay, so let's quickly get on through here. Once again, I am going to get to the end of this area, find Tornadus, and then just run away from it immediately. I'm going to run away from it immediately because since the because since the Tornadus and Thunderous, since those two are not legitimate, I don't feel like it would be fair for me to catch whatever the Landorus is. A Starly and a Dustox. So my encounter has the... Wait. No, that's how it would work. So my encounter has the Dustox. I think I unintentionally just kill it here. But yeah, so my encounter has the Dustox because while... Actually, technically I could call species on it, but I feel like it would be unfair to do so. I'm sure that there's probably a time in another playthrough where I have done this exact thing. But basically, since Dustox is the alternate evolutionary line from Oddish, not Oddish, from Wurmple. I was thinking of Vileplume and Blossom as another example for this. But basically, I had a Beautifly, like, right at the start of the game, but Dustox is obviously a different Pokemon, but they do come from the same kind of base thing. Because Wurmple evolves into either Silcoon or Cascoon, and from whichever one you get there determines whether you get a Beautifly or Dustox. So technically this is species, but I'm just going to catch it anyway for my own general convenience. I don't really know how I should approach that with most things. However, I will say, I do know for certain that I will be approaching in future playthroughs. I'll be approaching that rule for Eevee evolution as, like, they're all their own separate thing, basically. Like, I'll be able to claim dupes on an Eevee if I find one, but I'm not gonna... But, like, perfect example, I have had a Flareon on my team in this playthrough. If I found a wild Jolteon, I'm not going to allow myself to claim species on it, because, well, technically it's its own thing entirely, and I feel like that kind of just rules out like 6 or 7 of our Pokemon. Is this girl a trainer? Oh, there's a hidden item here. We found a magnet. Are you a trainer? Okay, they are indeed a trainer. What do they have? I have kind of reached a point where I'm now worried about a lot of trainers. That's a Gigalith. Okay. It's level 76. I have Solid Rock, though. I have Solid Rock, so I know I can Earthquake, and I probably take a Stone Edge. I think I can live a Stone Edge. Okay, it sets up Stealth Rocks. I EQ again. This should kill, I think. Does it? No! That did not just happen. It did not just live on 1 because of a lure rule and then explode. Okay, we live. Amazotz lives. Kingdra. I'm going to U-turn out. I'm going to U-turn out and go to probably Empoleon, I think. I would go out to Hydreigon, but I don't know if it'll go for a Dragon move, and that's what I'm worried about. Brine. Okay. So I would have been perfectly safe going out to a Hydreigon there, but I think it was probably for the best if I didn't. Okay, there's a Hydro Pump. You know what, I think I am going to switch out to Hydreigon here. Hopefully I don't switch into a Dragon Pulse or something. I don't know what this Kingdra would have as the thing. I don't know its level up move there. Okay, Brine. I don't need to worry about that. We're on pretty high health. And I can just fire out a Draco Meteor. We missed. Okay, it didn't click Dragon Pulse, so I feel pretty confident in saying it doesn't have Dragon Pulse. Okay, so I can land a Draco Meteor, and that should be enough to kill the Kingdra. And I go to +2 because I have Contrary. And now, Penta goes up level 74. This girl has a Reshiram as well. Okay, I can Draco this. I'm +2, this should kill. Like, I'm +2, that should kill. I was +2. That killed. Fantastic. Honestly, Contrary Hydreigon, maybe one of my favorite things I've ever had in a playthrough. Like, that is insane. Being able to just fire out Draco Meteor and get a boost from it is absolutely absurd. Honestly though, the real MVP right now, was Camazotz, because I was fully expecting it to die there. But straight up, I am baffled that I still have a Crobat alive on my team. I was fully expecting it to die as soon as I saw Explosion. But okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain about one of my Pokemon being alive. Okay, however, I am going to still try to dodge around the remaining people here. Because that girl had some dangerous Pokemon. Like, she had a Gigalith, a Reshiram, and a Kingdra. Like, those three are kind of dangerous Pokemon all by themselves. Okay, find a default Pokeball. Cool. Like, those three Pokemon are kind of dangerous all by themselves, but as a team of three, those could have... Like, that could have ruined a lot of things very quickly. Okay, that must be on this little... What would the term be? It's not an island. Like, this little patch of land here. Find a rock incense. Cool. I don't need it, but cool, I have one. 10 out of 10, I feel like in Pokemon games, I find so many things where it's like, do I need this item? Absolutely not. I get TM53, Head Charge. Head Charge, I believe, is Bufalon's signature move. Honestly, Bufalon is an interesting Pokemon. I want to use one in a playthrough at some point, but it's just so slow. Okay, so now let's see what this is. It's a small weathered shrine. Tornadus and Thundurus are struggling inside their Pokeballs. Okay. That is one of the Lake Guardians. I'm going to say Mesprit. I think it's Mesprit. I know it's a Lake Guardian for sure. It is indeed Mesprit. Cool. Let's go, I guessed that. Now then, I am just going to run away from it immediately because, as previously stated, well, I don't have Tornadus and Thundurus, so I think it's unfair for me to do that. I think it would be absolutely unfair to just allow myself to catch that and move on. So what I'm going to do now is teach... I mean, I might as well teach one of them Fly just to get out of here a little bit faster. I'll teach Tornadus Fly. Fun fact about Tornadus, the first Pokemon that is pure flying type. Where was I going next? I was going to Nimbasa City. No, wait, I wasn't going to Nimbasa City. I was going to Lacunosa Town. I was going to Lacunosa Town next, because my next thing is the Giant Chasm. 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10, I am out here on the course correction tack. So, Lacunosa Town is up here, the most northeasterly point of, most northeasterly town. That's what it's called. The word is a town. It's right there in the name. It's the Lacunosa Town. 10 out of 10. I'm doing so well with words today. Okay, so let's keep moving on. And I can now drop these two off in... I can now drop these off in the tokens and illegal Pokemon land. Also, I'm going to move my second Victory Bell over. I probably should have just moved all of them over, but I'm very, very lazy sometimes. So I'm going to move this, and I'm going to claim another encounter on Route 13. So, away we go. I'm also going to try dodge this girl. Fantastic. So, I have an encounter on Route 13. 13. As a token, we get a Charmander. That is dupes. I already have a Charmander for a potential Charizard. Honestly, I mean, if I was a Bulbasaur, I would have loved that, because I could potentially have all three starters from Kanto and a Pikachu on the team. A Lilligant. I mean, I don't know. Lilligant is an interesting Pokemon to me because it's a Sunstone evolution, and I've always loved the design for Lilligant. I think it's really cute. I've always been a big fan of it. However, it suffers from a severe case of grass type. And by that, I mean it basically only gets grass move. And that's its biggest weak point. Like, it has kind of okay stats, but it is a stone evolution, and pretty much every move it gets is either a normal type supporting move, like Teeter Dance that's just shown, or it's grass type. I think it does get Quiver Dance, but I don't know if that's in this game. I know in future gens it would get Quiver Dance, but I don't know if it gets it here. Either way, we now have a Lilligant. But hey, you know what? I am a big fan of Lilligant. It is really cute, and it's probably my favourite Pokemon that's exclusive to Pokemon White. Because Cottony is the one that is in Pokemon Black, and, like, Cottony and Whimsicott are the special ones for Pokemon Black, and then you have Petalil and Lilligant in Pokemon White. Now then, so I have to quickly just surf around here, and I want to get my giant chasm encounter in the outside area. So so for the cave section, I'm just gonna try to keep a super repel on, and I'm gonna need strength, but I can work around that if need be. Also, 10-10, we can't actually see because of the fog. Okay, so now I just need to make my way through this little cave section. Okay, so, also, in Black and White 2, no, 10 out of 10, I'm doing so well at words and also navigation today. Okay, I need strength. So I guess I'll teach something to Penta, I guess. Yeah, I'll just teach it to Penta. I'll get rid of Metal Claw just for now. I can just reteach them in between episodes. I can just give it Metal Claw and Swords Dance back. It'll be fine. Now then, so this is the way I need to go in order to make my way through, because you go down there, you go out of the cave and into the kind of central zone of the giant chasm. However, we aren't going to be going there just yet. Black and White, this is one of my favorite areas in Black and White 2, and in Black and White 2, this actually connects you to Route 23, which is where you now need to go to get to the Pokemon League. Because the Unova region is it's a little bit different in Black and White 2. And I think that's a really cool thing. It really shows kind of time passing, and it kind of shows, like, the region evolving and growing over time. And also, I just really like Black and White 2. I know I've mentioned this multiple times across multiple episodes, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Pokemon Black and White 2. Also, I just found another pink scarf. I don't need one. Yeah, that had a perfect that had the perfect placement of, oh, that's a hidden item. Okay, we find some relic gold. I think I have one of each relic thing now. Okay, I found a water stone. If that had been in an encounter, I would have been a little bit sad. Okay, we found a power herb. That is very good, potentially. So if I find... Okay, we found a fire gem. So the power herb is basically, it'll automatically charge a move. So if I have something with Sky Attack or Solar Beam, I can kind of just, like, fast track it to be one turn. Basically, you can kind of fast track it to be a one-turn thing. Okay, yeah, I will happily take another Master Ball. So I now have 2 Master Balls available, and that will be very helpful to me, because it basically means I can guaranteed catch whatever I want here, and also, well, it means I'm effectively guaranteed. I'm guaranteed whatever my Kyurem is, and if I find something else that's quite difficult, and if I find something else that's rather difficult to catch, I can just work around it that way. Also, I do want to get my encounter in the outside area, so I'm going a slightly longer way to avoid that bit, mostly just because it could potentially have been an encounter. The real question is, will that have been a bad decision or a good one? I have no idea. Okay, so now I get to play another fun little minigame called I Am Really Bad at Navigating Black and White 1's Giant Chasm. Okay, Comet Shard is kinda nice. You know what? I'm gonna stick around here and just get my encounter. Once again, I'm going for the Doubles Grasp because, as a hit, potentially doubles encounter. Okay, we get a Muck. Okay, Muck isn't bad. That Mold Breaker Muck, I have no issues with a Muck. Muck is pretty solid. I mean, it's very viscous. And viscous is not a great word, is it? Anyway, yep, I have no issues with a Muck. It has Gunk Shot. That is a base 120, I think. So it can hit very hard. And as a result, I'm now a little bit concerned because I don't want to hit it with Cross Poison. Because I don't think it'll do enough. Like, I don't think Cross Poison will do enough, but I think Acrobatics will do too much. Because even so, like, I know Muck is pretty good defensively. Let's see how much a Cross Poison does. Maybe I'm overreacting. That's a crit, yeah. 100% that was a crit. So this thing has shown Gunk Shot, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. I feel pretty safe saying I could just go out. I feel pretty safe saying I could go out to Empoleon and just completely wall this Muck. Which, honestly, if it doesn't stay in the ball this turn, I might just do. 1. Well, I can leave it 1 or 2 more turns. Camazotz is fairly bulky, but I'm also starting to run out of Ultra Balls. I'm going to need to go and buy some more. Even though we are at our final few encounters, I do want to keep on top of this, just in case. Who knows? Like, who knows? You never know when... Wow, sorry, I just read that the fluid from a Muck instantly kills plants and trees on contact. Like, I know Muck is meant to be, like, gross and repulsive and everything, but that's kind of insane. Okay, so we find an odd incense. Now I gotta play my favorite fun little minigame with this area, called Can I Navigate Here First Try? The answer is almost certainly no. Because, historically, I have been really bad at actually navigating this area. Okay, TM85, Return. Return is actually kind of nice to have. Honestly, it feels a bit weird getting it so late in the game, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. Now then, what's up here? Nothing. So I can go down here, and I loop around. I know that I need to kind of make my way towards the center of the area, basically. Okay, TM41, Dig. And I'm really getting kind of just a collection of just kind of okay TMs right at the end of the game here, aren't I? Okay, so I go down and around through here, maybe? Oh, I could have had a Mew. That actually would have been just disgustingly unfair. Mew is kind of busted. Mew is busted because it can learn every TM, so I would have effectively been able to teach it whatever I wanted. Oh! Okay. Also, I think this is so cool. Like, you get to the center of the area, and then just the roar comes out, and suddenly, boom. It is just a pure thing of snow. Like, everything's just frozen over, it's all ice and snow. The only things are, like, the only ways out are the way you came in, and the only places you can go are the way you came in, and a new entrance to a cave over here. And I know exactly what that Pokemon cry was. I will talk about it in just a second. Okay, I would not have minded a Cubone, to be honest. Cubone is really good. Okay, it's not great, but hey, I think I have the Thick Club available, so hey, it could have been usable. So, I should have just thrown on a Repel. Honestly, Caracosta, another really cool Pokemon. I feel kind of bad because I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. I really like Caracosta, but it's just in the same gen as Archon, and that's unfortunate for it. So, Kyurem is That's a Shaman. That is definitely a Shaman. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. Since it is a Pokemon, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. Since it's a high-level Pokemon, I think it might have Seed Flare, so I'm a little bit concerned, so I'm just gonna Master Ball it. My decision to Master Ball it also definitely doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I've just looked at the timer and I'm already past an hour recording this. Like, I knew this episode was going to be long, but I thought I would have been a little bit closer to being done by now. But anyway, so that was my Kyurem. Oh, I would have loved a Chandelure. Chandelure is so cool. But yeah, so that was my Kyurem. Kyurem itself is kind of just a mystery of a Pokemon in Black and White 1. But when you get to Black and White 2, it serves a really interesting role in the story. And eventually you get everything with Kyurem Black and Kyurem White. And genuinely, Kyurem, really interesting Pokemon to me. Because it's kind of like the husk. It's almost like the husk that was left behind. It's basically the husk that was left behind from Reshiram and Zekrom splitting, as far as I can recall. And I think that is just a really interesting thing for it. Because it's like, oh, in a sense, it's kind of a monster. But also, it didn't, I don't know, it's kind of like a monster that didn't really ask to exist, if that makes sense. Now then, what else could, I should have got my encounter in here. I should have just gotten my encounter in the cave. I could have had a Regigigas. Like, that could have been insane. I remember the last time I played Pokemon Platinum, I did that as a randomizer with the same kind of... the last time I played Pokemon Platinum, I had the same kind of randomizer as I do here. And I had two absolutely insane Pokemon in that. Like, I had some pretty good stuff in general, but the main ones that I remember as just being disgustingly busted, that I ended up not using, were I had a Shell Armor Regigigas, so it couldn't be critted, and I had a Solid Rock Kyogre, so it would take less damage from super effective. I didn't end up using either of them, but they would have been disgustingly busted. Okay, so let's quickly go and our new Pokemon. Okay, we have Shaman with big packs. So that basically means you can't lower its defense or something. Now then, I will pick up Pidgeotto, because I will need that. And I don't think I need anything else right now. I think I gave Waterfall to Penta, so I should be okay here. So let's quickly pick up... 13 more should be enough. 13 more should be enough, because I know that I'm pretty good for what I need right now, I think. However, I do want to double check. I am going to go back to Castelia City, because I think I should be able to get to Liberty Garden. Now, I should note, there is an event in this game that I haven't had access to, because it requires special event Pokemon from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And obviously, I do not have access to those, and I don't really know how, like, genning those in would work. So I'm just passing on it. I would have had a couple of special Pokemon from those, but whatever. People are quite different depending on where they live. It's a bit surprising that rules and ways of thinking are different just because the places we live are different. Can I not get on the boat? Or is this not the boat? I'm fairly certain that one of these places is the boat. I have the Liberty Pass, so I should be able to get on this boat. It's small compared to a luxury liner, but the size of a ship doesn't change the feeling of adventure when you're out on the open sea. Huh, okay, I guess I can't get to Liberty Island. Okay, so I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. I might just skip out Victini. I will either just skip out Victini or just edit it in somewhere. So that is something for future me to solve. That is a little puzzle for future me to deal with. Also, while I was doing my training for the Elite Four, I went and checked just what the TMs are on the Battle Subway, and I was really upset by one of them, because one of my TMs from the battle subway, like, I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to have to sit and spend hours grinding the battle subway just to be able to get one TM, but one of those TMs was Thunderbolt, and I don't remember what number it was. I don't think it actually said what number it was, but yeah, if I could have had Thunderbolt, that could have been insane. Now then, I am going to make my way through the desert resort one more time. Also, I know that I have used Pinwheel Claws a lot in this playthrough, so I'm not going to allow myself an encounter for the basement kind of area of the Relic Castle. I feel like I have done enough in terms of encounters for this area, with the sole exception of the Volcarona that I'm, currently going looking for. But hey, that's a special exception, because that is a static Pokemon. That's a static Pokemon. The first time, I mean, realistically, I think everyone thought Volcarona was probably a legendary the first time they saw it. I mean, unless they had La Vesta and kind of put 2 and 2 together on it, but still. I mean, I hadn't. If I'm being totally honest, the first time I played Black and White, I did not go over a Route 18 or anything until I'd finished the game. Like, that was way, way later for me. Okay, so, down we go, and hopefully we should be able to, blaze through this area this time, because we don't have Team Plasma trying to stop us at all. Like, we don't have Team Plasma trying to stop us every 5 steps, so, yeah, we'll get through this area very quickly. Although it is kind of funny how it's pretty much faster to actually just walk down the things. But I think it's actually faster, or roughly the same speed. But I kind of just run. Like, if you just walk down and fall into the quicksand pits, I think it's actually faster to do it that way than actually running, because then you have the, like, slower thing. Anyway, off we go. Hi, Team Plasma Grunt, what's up? Okay, they are shocked and running away. Cool. Fair enough, as you do. Okay. What's up now? I guess they're attacking me. Okay, fair enough, as you do. As you do, Team Plasma. How are you today? Okay, so you have... You ever just feel insulted? Like, really? It's only been 2 episodes. It's only been 2 episodes since I lost Groved. Like, now is not the time. I just realized Camazos is level 76 and my level cap is currently 76. I should maybe stop using Crobat just for now. Because Crobat is very close to that level cap and, well, it's on the level cap and I don't want it to go over. Okay. So, what's going on here? Ryoku of the 7 Sages is looking for a Pokemon inside the Relic Castle. I was his lookout so he wouldn't be interrupted. Stupid, stupid, stupid me. Plus weakened. Did I mention stupid? It all adds up to nincompoop. Fair enough, you said it, not me. Okay, so now I gotta play a fun little mini-game called I have no idea how to navigate this place. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna keep going left until it lets me go somewhere else. Now I'll go down, I guess. And suppose I'll make a right. And I guess I'll make another right. And I guess I'll make another right. And you know what, let's make one more right. Why not? I can go up if nothing else. I could have had a Stunfisk in here. You know what, I'm totally okay with not getting an encounter for this zone. Actually, Sandstream on Stunfisk is probably one of the best options it could have possibly gotten. Okay, that's maybe it. That's probably a bit hyperbolic, but still. Sandstream might not have been too bad for a Stunfisk. Okay, let's throw... No. Oh, ho, ho, that could have been bad. Also, 10 out of 10, I'm really bad at navigating all of these places. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back this way. I'm gonna go back this way, and then when it would allow me to go down, I'll go down and then I'll go right. Okay, I'll go left, apparently. So now I'll go left again. Okay, made it. Cool. I was planning to catch the Pokemon called Volcarona that lives in this relic castle, and present it to Getsus. But the Shadow Triad said that Getsus has gone somewhere, right? The 7 Sages. We always said we were complete when the 7 of us were together. Now I don't know the meaning of those words anymore. I guess I don't mind. Even if we were being used, the dream is over. I no longer need this. Getsus gave it to me, but I have no use for it. TM04, Skull Bash. TM04 is normally Calmer Mind. So, not going to be too helpful here. This relic castle and our own castle are both crumbling. But what's different is that this relic castle is the remains of a civilization, and our castle has left nothing behind. Hi, Looker. Regarding Team Plasma, I'm an officer of the International Police and you must satisfy my request for certain information. Understood. But we don't know much about Getsus or our Lord N. We haven't even figured out if they're father and son. Accept my thanks. Now, Getsus notwithstanding, there yet remains but 5 of the 7 sages still at large. They are thinking upon what topics. They are hoping upon what chances. This is of the utmost urgency. At once, on the way! Okay. Later, Looker. Okay, so now then, let's put Sparky at the front of the party because this is another Pokemon that I can try to catch. So our Volcarona is... Out of everything it could have been, did it really need to be a Cradilly? Like, Cradilly is... I mean, it's a choice. I mean, obviously the randomizer decided it, but still, It has motor drive. Okay. I mean, that's not great. Honestly, I could probably just throw an Ultra Ball at this thing and it might just stay in. I can't imagine this will be too tough to catch, right? Okay, the Ultra Ball is not working. I mean, it is on full health and everything. Oh, hang on, wait. Okay. Point made. Point made, Cradilly. Point made. Okay. It's not that serious. Calm down. Okay, I'm gonna go out to Camazotz here. It stockpiles again, so it's on +2. But it is now on +2. No. I think at +2 it can take an Acrobatics. At +2 it can take an Acrobatics. At +2 it can eat an Acrobatics, apparently. Okay. Okay, so that is +3, so now let's go for another Acrobatics. Whittle it down to a little bit under half. Honestly, what were the odds of that, though? Like, I taught Pikachu how to use Thunder Wave, so it would be easier to catch some of these legends. And here I am finding a Cradilly with Motor Drive. Although that is an Electric Immunity, so that is kinda nice. An Electric Immunity could come in super handy. Either way, we now have a Cradilly. Honestly, out of everything that I could have possibly had as my final kind of notable Pokemon encounter, wouldn't have been my first choice. Also, I'm kind of just running through here as opposed to using the bike. Bike would have been a lot faster, but I'm just running through here, mostly as a kind of respect thing. Because Relic Castle is, you know, it's a thing of an ancient civilization, and we don't want to break stuff if we can. Now the question is, am I going the right way to get out of here? This is a big old set of stairs, so I can safely say I'm probably heading in the right direction. Now, I could escape rope to get out. However, I know that normally in this game, if you come up all of these flights of stairs, I think there's like 5 or 6 of them, you find a TM for Earthquake. So let's find out what that TM is going to be in this playthrough. I'm hoping for something good, but my expectations are kinda low. Because I feel like I've had a very mixed bag of TMs. And I feel like I've had a very mixed bag of TMs, and a lot of the good ones... Okay, TM03, Thrash. Not great. I feel like a lot of my good TMs have been kind of limited to what I can teach them to. And then I had a couple, like Earthquake and Earth Power, that I can just teach to anything. Okay, so, now then, let's finally get going. Because now I can start getting, just on my whistle stop tour, a roundup for 7 sages. And then we can finish off the episode. And then, after that... well, after that, we reach the end zone, the end game. And because after today's episode, like today is a Tuesday episode, Thursday's episode is the finale. We are very close to the end of this game now. You know, I'll just keep everything I have with me, because I feel like I probably don't need any more special moves just to get around. So away we go. Let's hopefully just get through these without too much hassle. However, I also want to keep Camazotz out of fights if I can, and because obviously my level cap is currently 76 and it is like halfway through. Oh, I would have loved to have gotten a Bishop. I know I used a Bishop the last time I played this game, but I absolutely adore Bishop. It is so cool. Weirdly enough, not a huge fan of King Gambit. Like, I really like Pawniard, I like Bishop a lot. Not a huge fan of King Gambit, and I don't really have much of a reason as to why. I don't know, I think Supreme Overlord is a really cool concept for an ability, though. It's like, yeah, it draws power on all of its defeated allies. Like, that is kind of insane. Okay. I will say, though, despite all that, King Gambit was one of my main raid Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Mostly because Kowtow Cleave with, mostly because Kowtow Cleave with whatchamacallit. I'm forgetting what it's called. With Terra Dark. Just did a ton of damage. That with a Choice Band, so much damage. Greetings to you, strong Pokemon trainer who came of a Dragon Spiral Tower. Are you not making friends with Reshiram? There's a saying, if somewhere in this world there's someone who understands you, it feels like that person is right beside you. If you're as far apart as the end of the land and the top of the sky. As my Lord N and his Pokemon understand one another, so too do you and your Pokemon understand one another, which is my reason for giving you this. TM08, Shift Gear. That could actually be super good. The legend of Unova is about Pokemon and people working together to build a new world. The message is that simple and that strong. If changing the world makes you a hero, anyone can become a hero. If each of us changes what is in our power to change, so the world itself changes. Regarding Team Plasma, I'm an officer of the International Police and you must supply the information I request. Indeed, I shall. Team Plasma changed me, but it could not change the world. I'm looking forward to seeing how you lot will do. I beg you will accept my thanks. Now, Getsus notwithstanding, there yet remains but 4 of the 7 sages still at large. What do they think of? What do they hope for? I'm intensely interested to know this. To depart at once! Okay, later, Loka. Now then, it is time for me to hop on this Pidgeotto and fly away. I went to the wrong place. I meant to go to Mistralton. I meant to go to Mistralton City and ended up in Driftvale. I mean, hey, you know what? I mean, it has tunes if nothing else. And I don't really have much reason to ever come back to Driftvale in this game. I will be coming back when I eventually do Black and White 2. But obviously that'll happen because, you know, it's an important place. Okay, so, now then, in we go to the Charged Stone Cave, because as you may recall, when I came through here earlier in the game, I did mention that there was, that one of the 7 sages does indeed turn up here. Also, I'm just going to put Fafnir out front, because, well, it's very powerful and also is probably the slowest leveling of all of my Pokemon. And so if I get drawn into a couple of fights, that's fine. Not that it makes much difference, because the trainers in here will be like level 30. Like, they'll be like mid-level 30s. I probably don't need to worry too much about over-leveling in this area, if I'm being totally honest. Okay, I guess I'm fighting this girl. Hopefully I mean, realistically, they shouldn't have anything that would be too dangerous to me. Because realistically, you know, I'm like 40 levels over them now. What's the level gap? Yeah, they're mid-level 30s, I'm mid-level 70s now. So I'm not too worried about them. And let's just Dragon Pulse. The Dragon Pulse, obviously one-shots. I'm more than double their level. So I definitely don't need to worry. I'm going to get hit by a Fake Out here, Because, honestly, realistically, if I know a Pokemon gets Fake Out at any level, I just assume they're gonna use it. Because realistically, it's kind of a safe bet. And their final Pokemon is a Mandibuzz. Okay, Mandibuzz is kind of a respectable one. I feel like this fight could have been potentially dangerous if I was fighting them, you know, when I was first coming through here, and not in the post-game. But hey, I ain't gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain about a free win. Okay, so, away we go. When I saw you in Castelia, I did not care about your existence. Here in the Chargestone Cave, Getsus tested your ability. Once more, we will test you to learn what it is you are. Team Plasma, come out! Okay, hello. Erroneous of the Seven Sages, I'll bring this kid down. I mean, you and what army, buddy? Okay. Give it your best shot, I suppose. Okay. Okay, I think that qualifies as his best shot, perhaps. I am just gonna surf. Oh, that could have been very scary. That is Focus Punch. Fortunately, because I landed a hit, it's gonna lose its focus. And it did indeed actually live. But that's fine, we just land a Crunch and take out the Golurk. Fantastic. Good job, Fafnir, good job. What is your second Pokemon? An Aggron. Honestly, Golurk and Aggron, I mean, it's a slow team, but it's a very powerful one. And also, you know, they're kind of like on my level, so they could have potentially been very dangerous. Also, Aggron had adaptability, I think, so yeah, very strong. This kid's the real thing. Because of you, I'm now X-Team Plasma. Being an X doesn't sound cool, does it? How are you gonna make that up to me? Probably by doing Pokemon battle things. You know, just the usual. You know, just the usual standard Pokemon battle things, as you do. Okay, a Leavanny. Oh, that's actually kind of scary. I'm concerned by this. I don't really want to be in on this. I feel like I can safely get Camazot in. I think I can okay, we dodge a Leaf Storm. Now, I U-turn. So I U-turn, and I'm gonna go out to Sparky. I shouldn't go to Sparky, actually. I will instead... I've misplayed here regardless. Yeah, sure, I'll go out to Penta. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What did I walk into? Swords Dance. This might not be fine. This might not be fine at all. Oh, wait. Wait. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. It's okay. It's fine. And, I'm not worried anymore because I don't need to worry about Simple. The last time I fought a Leavanny, it had Simple, and that was actually horrifying. Okay, Machamp means a fighting type move is more than likely coming. Honestly, I will happily switch out. I'll happily switch out, let this, yeah, I'll happily switch out, let Pidgeotto go down for a safe switch in. Now the question is, are you close enough to... I don't think I'll get 5,500 experience from one thing here. However, I do need... Oh, hold on. I may have made a mistake here. Camazots might break the level cap. I have overused... I've definitely overused this. Sawsbuck is their last Pokemon. Okay. I should be okay to just U-turn out here, I think. I can U-turn out and get good damage. Okay, that probably falls a bit under... I think that's probably more than just good damage, but okay. I go out to Fafnir, and I just Dragon Pulse next turn for the win, I think. Okay, absorbs... I'm not even going to question how it works. We're in a cave. I'm not going to question how they're absorbing the sunlight. Right, especially because it is, like... It is 10 past 9... Well, it's 12... It is 12 minutes past 9 while I'm recording this, at night. An X-Team Plasma member becomes an ordinary Pokemon trainer. This was that moment. The Pokemon of our Team Plasma are also fighting for their trainers. It was so obvious that I overlooked it. Thank you for reminding me of that. Here, I'd like you to have this. TM69 in Split. That could actually be super helpful. Pokemon do their best for their trainers even when they are injured. I wonder whether my Lord N understands what that means. Hi Lurker, what's going on? On the topic of Team Plasma, I'm an officer of the International Police, so you'll be wise to share all you know. Those who left Team Plasma and are behaving with respect and understanding towards Pokemon. Them, please forgive. However, those who won't interact with Pokemon in a kind and honest way, even I will never forgive them. Truly, I thank you. Now Ghetsis notwithstanding, there yet remains but 3 of the 7 sages still at large. Their innermost faults, their uttermost hopes. These I must and shall discover. Once more, a brief farewell. Okay, later, Lurker. Well, I had to let whatchamacallit, Pidgeotto go down, but I think that was probably the better choice. Because realistically, I more than likely wasn't going to be using that Pidgeotto on the team at any point, and at the same time, it could have been a very dangerous situation. And when it comes to it, so ultimately, if you gave me the choice of, hey, you can lose this Pidgeotto that's level 25, or you could potentially lose the Empoleon you've had since episode 1, or the Pikachu that's super broken, or the contrary Hydreigon, I know what I'm going with every time. The answer is, I'm always going with the cool Pokemon that I've had for ages, and not the level 25 Pidgeotto. No disrespect meant to Pidgeotto, but its sacrifice was absolutely necessary. And now, I think I should be okay. I'm gonna lead with Sparky for a bit, though. I'm gonna lead with Sparky. Hopefully we'll be okay. And I have enough, super repels that I should be pretty okay. Also, I don't think I've ever actually mentioned this, but I've always thought it would be really cool to have a Hydreigon hoodie that, like, the hood is the main head, and then the 2 arms have, like, little gloves that would be the other 2 heads. I always thought that would be really cool. 10 out of 10, would absolutely buy that if they made official merch of it. But hey, you know what? Maybe that's one of those things. Maybe that's one of those things that I'll probably never get one, but it would be cool to have. Anyway, enough of me rambling about cool things that I think I would buy. Anyway, let's hopefully move on through here. I'm very glad that I remember where all of the 7 sages are, because otherwise I could have been here just trying to find them for ages. Now then, hopefully I can get through here without too much more hassle, because we are a little over an hour and a half. I guess I've made a small movie here today, but that's okay. Okay, what do you have to say? It smells of the sea here. This place has the same ocean smell as where I was born. Ghetsis wandered the lands of this world all over, collecting knowledge of all kinds while searching for like-minded people. From the moment we met, he understood what I desired. The ability to understand the minds and the needs of others. This is an ability that everyone needs to survive. My Lord N is a kind and excellent person who understands the hearts of Pokemon. But conversely, perhaps his ability to understand the hearts and feelings of people is not developed enough. But even that was part of the perfection of Ghetsis' plan. When it comes to Ghetsis, I cannot separate the truths from the lies. See this? I received it from Ghetsis, but I no longer need it. I hope you can put it to good use. TM32, Silverwind. So that would normally be Double Team. Someday, if my Lord N develops the ability to understand the feelings of people as well as Pokemon, I would like us to gather again. More than anything, I want to see N confront Ghetsis. And now about Team Plasma. I'm an officer of the International Police, and there's so many things you must tell me at once. If that is what you desire. Many thanks. Now, Ghetsis notwithstanding, there yet remains but 2 of the 7 sages still at large. What is it they're thinking? What is it they what it may be they are hoping. This is the information I have need of. Quick, and soon, say I. Okay, so we are nearly done. We only have 2 left. I put the Pidgeotto away and I don't have Fly anymore. Okay, we're walking. We're walking. Well, we're cycling and we're surfing, but still, we're walking. And I forgot to put a Super Repel back on. I'm doing so well today. Anyway, today on, I'm making a... Yeah, I guess this is a movie. I guess this is going to be a movie. We're going to be close to 2 hours by the time this is done. Actually, depending on how long the rest of this takes, it'll probably be like it'll be like probably 10-15 more minutes. So yeah, we are going to be pretty close to 2 hours for this episode. So yeah, Legends of the Unova region, this is going to be a very long episode. Realistically, I probably could have switched. I could have probably made this into 3, maybe even 4 episodes, but I feel like that would probably be a little bit overkill. Like, because realistically, this episode is egregiously long. This episode is being super long, and I probably could have made it into 2 or 3 episodes, but then I kind of just tripped myself over with, needing to distribute. I unintentionally walked into them. Okay, Sparky'll just annihilate them. Sparky'll be fine. Sparky'll be okay with all this fight. That's just a Piloswine. That's fine. I'm like 35. I'm like 30-something levels higher than. I'll just E-Speed. Now that I think about it, I think that's the first time I've had Sparky actually use E-Speed. But honestly, the fact that I have Light Ball, Pure Power, and the ability to just use Extreme Speed is absolutely absurd. Genuinely, I was kind of excited about the idea of maybe using a Raichu in a playthrough again, but then I saw, oh wait, I have the Light Ball and Pure Power on Pikachu. This thing could be insane. And honestly, I was a little bit concerned about it at first. I was a little bit dubious on it. That isn't the right word. I questioned myself on it a bit, maybe thinking it wasn't the right decision. But you know what? No, it is very much proving itself that it was absolutely the right decision. Now then, I'm just gonna cycle through. I'll just cycle through. It'll be fine. Because realistically, in the amount of time it takes me to go and just pick a Pokemon out of the PC and everything, I could probably just cycle my way back up. You know what? While I'm here, let's use Strength, see what's down here. Because I forgot entirely about this. This is a Durinberry. If that had been something absolutely insane, that would have been amazing. I don't really know what kind of item I would have needed at this point in the game, but hey, could have been cool. If it had been leftovers, that would have been perfect, actually. Because I don't think I've had lefties in this game at all. And having access to lefties would be very nice. Okay, also I don't need cut anymore because this is now open. I didn't pick that up right at the start of the game. Man, I'm letting myself down here. Okay, so, because... Now, I know I've used it too often in this game already, but I am going to allow myself this one area for Pinwheel Claws. Because if I came here on, I think it's Thursday or Friday, there's also a Mushana there. I also have to fight this guy in order to move forward. So, let's see what he has. Hopefully nothing too dangerous. I mean, realistically, I hope it's nothing too dangerous for every fight. That is a slacking. You know when I said, hopefully nothing too dangerous? Okay, here's the thing. I don't think anything on my team appreciates getting hit by a slacking. So I think I just have to full send it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Barky, please tell me you kill in one. Okay. I'm not taking any chances. I'm extreme speeding here. I'm not taking any chances that Sparky gets outspared. I'm just E-speeding and killing that thing. That could have been a calamity. And a T-Tar? Who? Why? If it has it probably goes for Earthquake here, so I suppose going out to Hydreigon is the play. Like, this guy is a final boss. This man threw out a Slacking and then a Tyranitar. That did a lot of damage, actually, even though it was resisted. Like, I know it was resisted, but still, that is too much damage. Surf doesn't kill. Stone Edge. No, 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 no. Don't crit, don't crit, don't crit, don't crit, don't crit, don't crit, don't crit. We live. We live. He doesn't have Fryo. Okay, okay, okay. Crisis averted. Okay. Okay. What's his last Pokemon? A Machamp? That's fine. That's fine. That's not fine. Okay, Cradilly, thank you for your service. Thank you for being on the team for, like, all of 10 minutes while I do nothing else. This guy is a menace. Like, this guy is out for blood. He had 3 Pokemon. This man has had 3 Pokemon. He's had a Machamp, a Tyranitar, and a Slacking. This guy is out to kill stuff. And he's just hanging around in the basement of the Dream Yard. And I can't use Camazotz because it'll over-level if I do. Okay, Sparky, you have to kill here. Sparky, you have to kill with Wing Attack. It's super effective. Super effective Light Ball Pure Power coming through once again. Okay, that guy could have been a run ender. Straight up, he could have been a run ender. And now I'm genuinely scared, so I'm going to try to just dodge around everyone. Okay, apparently I found a Persimberry. So I'm going to try to just kind of sneak around and dodge these trainers, because I'm now scared, and I keep finding items. I keep finding items. I'm not expecting to, but I keep finding items. Why are there so many people here? Why are there so many people? There's so many people here, and I'm actually kind of scared. Okay. Okay, we're safe. We're safe, we're safe, we're safe. For now. Okay, I found a Ghost Gem. Let's patch ourselves up. Let's patch up our Pokemon. Well, let's patch up Hydreigon, because it got absolutely... It just got battered by that Tyranitar. Tyranitar heard I was talking smack. Okay, let's dodge around, and here, and dodge, and dodge, and dodge, and up we go. Okay. So what's this? A Pearl String. I mean, I can sell that for money. And, you know, money is nice to have. Okay. Oh, hello. Who? Were you surprised? Oh, trainer who destroyed our castle. I was quite surprised by you. If you surprise them, both Pokemon and people leave themselves open. While they're in a state of surprise, they can't use their powers like they normally would. Our intention was to surprise people by making our castle appear and showing off the legendary Pokemon. At that moment, we planned to deeply impress people's hearts with the awesome power of Team Plasma and the brilliance of our new world. Now that I've seen the strength of spirit in you and the gym leaders, I wonder how effective that strategy would have been after all. Maybe that strength of spirit is what's needed to take Pokemon to the next level. I'm sorry to have wasted your time with this silly conversation. Take this with you. PM75, Psycho Kurt. That could be useful. My Lord N's dream. You were the one who put a stop to that. But you were... please don't ever forget that. I just read the same line twice. And now, about Team Plasma. I'm an officer of the International Police, so there are so many things you must tell me at once. Mashana is said to appear here. Its dream mist makes you see dreams, but they are nothing but illusions. The dreams you realize with your own abilities are the real dreams. Accept my thanks. Now, Getz's notwithstanding, there remains but one of the 7 sages still at large. What is it they are thinking? What is it they may be hoping? What it may be they are hoping. This is the information I pursue, until we meet again. And fortunately, I remember where the last one is. However, let's quickly see what my final encounter of the game is. It is... How curious that that's what that turned out to be. My final encounter in this game is the Pokemon that I think I would have normally been given here. That! Oh! Okay, that's Fire Blast. Okay, hang on. Okay, uncalled for, Pansear. But okay, cool, I guess. Nice to see you have access to Fire Blast. Yeah, the fact that that is the final Pokemon I'm getting in this game is really cool. Because I started with... my start, I believe, would have been in the spot where Oshawott normally is. So I think I would have normally been given Pansear here. I think. I don't actually remember. I don't remember. But either way, normally you are given one of the elemental monkeys here, the one that would be good against... Like, if you start with the water, the gym lead, they'll use grass, so they give you fire, basically. And I think that's really interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that one of the elemental monkeys ended up being my final encounter in this game. That's so cool. I really like that. I know the elemental monkeys are kind of forgettable. Oh, and also, credit to the elemental monkeys. Welcome back to the Pokemon franchise. It's good to see you guys back in Legends ZA. You have earned your return. And because you guys have just been absent for the entire Switch generation. And let's quickly move this. Also, I should note, if I came here on one of the days of the week, I want to say it's Fridays. I think it's Fridays. I should note I'm recording this on a Monday night. Basically, a Moshana can and will appear there, and I think that's kind of cool. TM84 Fiery Dance? That could be insane. That's normally Moshana's... Not Moshana, Volcarona's move. I would have loved a Miss Magius. But you know what? That... Oh, hang on, wait, I need to get out of here. But I'm not too mad about that, because hopefully... I'm hoping that when I do Heart Gold Soul Silver, I'm really hoping that when I do Heart Gold Soul Silver, I can get a Misdreavus, because I really like Misdreavus and Miss Magius. And I would just be looking forward to using one again, because I haven't used one in a playthrough in a very long time. I think the last time I used one, it might have actually been when I played Heart Gold Soul Silver the last time in my free time, and that's probably been like 5... I think that's been like 5 years at this point. And because I feel pretty confident saying I didn't have one in... Wait, did I have... No, I think I did have one in my last playthrough. Never mind, what was I talking about? Okay, Compound Eyes Pansear. And... Butter Drive Cradilly did not last very long. I'm so sorry, that thing got sacked. So, you know what, I will... Do I have anything that can fly? Dead Pidgeotto, thanks, you're coming with just for one on the last flight. Actually, you know how I said I didn't need to go back to Driftvale? I was actually wrong on that. I do need to go back to Driftvale, because that is where the last of the 7 sages is hanging out. So, back to Driftvale City we go. So, back to Driftvale City we go. Back to Cold Storage we go. We have to loop through the place one more time. Fortunately, I know how to get through there without too much hassle. And after that, we're done. So basically, I'm going to navigate my way through Cold Storage, go through this last thing, go check out all the Pokemon that I caught in today's episode, and then wrap up today's episode, go and do other stuff, because it's like 9:30 at night, right? And yeah, I have other stuff to do today, before I go to sleep, and then, after that... Oh, I actually got through here a lot faster. And then I will probably record the finale of this game tomorrow. So you returned. You're an odd trainer. Alright, I've got enough time to satisfy your curiosity. Breathing. Having a heart that beats. That is simple existence and nothing more for a living being. That may be the definition of living, but I don't think that defines life. The experiences of joy and suffering are a vital part of being alive. Getsus gave me the sensation of being truly alive. What did he mean to accomplish? That isn't what's important. Right now, I'm shivering. I'm suffering, but I'm alive. Pokemon and people live by being together and relying on one another. That might be how you feel. If that's so, is it necessary to separate people and Pokemon? By talking to you, I've discovered that there's much I need to think about. I wish I had more to give you in thanks. Here, take this. BMO1 Volt Tackle! Can I teach that? My Lord N said he wanted to make Pokemon perfect. But even if the relationship between Pokemon and people stayed as it now is, Pokemon can aspire to perfection. Indeed, I'm an officer of the International Police and I demand to hear all you know about Team Plasma. It's too cold and I'm already tired of shivering in here. If you'll give me some time to think, I'll tell you what I know. So, take me with you. Thank you. Branch, for something we must speak. A report has reached my ears of someone far from here. Indeed, this someone has spotted a person like N and a dragon Pokemon. I plan to examine the exactitude of this information. I hope to see you again. And you never hear anything more from that. Looker doesn't... No, wait, he does Looker... I don't remember if Looker turns up in Black and White 2. I think he does, but you never hear anything about it because the Black and White protagonists aren't in Black and White 2. Okay, the question is, can I teach Volt Tackle? Can my Pikachu learn Volt Tackle? Because the last guy giving me Volt Tackle is so cool. And my Pikachu can't learn it. Boo! Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so let's go and check this all out. Also, I like how Zinzolin is the one who gives that speech, and then he's the one guy. He's the only one of the 7 sages who turns up again in Black and White 2 and is still like, yeah, I'm still evil, actually. It's like, yep. Yeah, that's on brand. Okay, let's have a quick look at the Pokemon I caught in today's episode. So we have... Oh, hang on, wait. Pidgeotto, you can go to the death box for real now, thanks. Okay, so I caught a Tranquil with Volt Absorb, Relaxed Nature, that's not too bad. I caught a Brave Justified Giratina. That moveset is insane. Sorry, I just noticed its moveset. That moveset is insane. A Technician Cresselia with Serious Nature. Okay, interesting, interesting. Then I caught all the rest of these. So I caught a Dry Skin Turtwig. I caught a Magnet Pull Nidoqueen with Mild Nature. I caught Groudon with Own Tempo. Impish Nature is also really nice. A Careful Dustox with Truant. This thing isn't going on the team, obviously. I caught a Mild Shaman with Big Pecs. I caught a Quirky Lilligant with Cursed Body. I caught a Lonely Pansier with Compound Eyes. I already had the Mantine. And I caught a Moldbreaker Muck. Okay, so with that, it is now time for me to wrap up today's episode because we're closing in on 2 hours. We are closing in on 2 hours. I'm saving and ending off today's episode here. So, today we managed to go and get all of our legendary encounters, and also go and find all of the 7 sages. And next time we have the final battles. So we'll have a rematch with Bianca, a rematch with Sharon, a fight with a game developer, the rematches with the Elite Four, and then the fight with Alder, and then the battle with Cynthia. I haven't decided how I'll edit all of those together, because I want the Alder fight to be the last one, but my level cap for the Elite Four and my level cap for the Elite Four is different, and then I have a different level cap for Alder and Cynthia, so I don't know how I'll do that just yet, but I'll figure that out. out. So, I'm going to end off today's episode here. Yeah, I believe Persona 2 Innocent Sin should have started yesterday, and will be on Wednesday and Friday this week. So, hopefully you'll also be looking forward to that. But I'm going to end off today's episode here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any of the buttons down below if you feel so inclined. And I will hopefully see you all on Thursday for the finale of Pokemon Black. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.